Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to the anime review. Today we're looking at episode 12 of Citrus, which just so happens to be the series finale or season finale, most likely. I don't think it'll be series finale. I think they'll probably bring this back. So I'll say season finale. How do I want to really go into this episode? Because I didn't hate it. I liked some parts of it. I really did. There were some parts that were genuinely nice about this week's episode. Seeing that, Yuzu and Mei finally got together, which was nice. And the fact that Sarah basically backed off because she realized that, her winning over Mei would not be right if Mei didn't really have the same feelings towards her. And it was nice that, Mei still sees her, still sees Sarah as a nice person because she was so adamant on treating her that way. So she felt like she was special in her own right, which leads me to believe that we won't see the end of this if, between Sarah and Mei being a thing. It's always possible they'll probably come back with it later on, because I know the manga series is not done, which I was very surprised about that. I actually thought that the manga had ended already, but a lot of people were telling me that the manga is still continuing, so I was like, oh, okay, well, I could have swore it ended. That's weird. But so if that's the case, though, I could definitely see Mei and, Sarah being, I want to say, showing up again as a couple, possible type thing if Yuzu and Mei's relationship kind of falls apart at some point. But it was nice to see it. The ending itself, though, pissed me off. That whole them walking toward the title, that was really cheesy. Every ounce of my freaking character when I saw that was my mouth was just open and agape and just, oh my god. I'm glad I knew a live reaction to that, because if I would have did a live reaction, you guys would have just saw me just doing this stupid face, because I can't believe that's how they ended it. I thought that was such a weird way of doing it. It just took you out of the whole thing just by doing it. It felt so campy and cheesy. I did not like that at all. That was really... And I also really didn't like the whole kind of play of them running. That was really corny also. I'm like, come on, you guys, just... Mei is always stoic and always supposed to be hard and stern, and here she is running because she's quote-unquote not sure about relationships, not sure about love. And I'm like, dude, okay, I get that, but come on now, why are you running across? Why is that Yuzu's chasing you down, telling you how she feels again? What is this? Why are you doing this again? So that was definitely not the best thing about this week's episode, but... I mean, if you take away anything, at least they got together for the most part, and Mei was honest about how she wants to date her to figure out if she really is the one. So, it's nice. It's not just right away, oh, I love you, I think you're the best thing in the world. Mei needs to see how she really feels about love, because she really has never loved someone. But she feels with Yuzu that she has something special with her, and that's why, it works in this sense. So, it works right there. That whole concept works for me, and I'm okay with it. But... was it a fantastic ending or a fantastic last episode? No, not far from it, but it was still okay overall. That's how Citrus, I think, the whole thing has been so far, though. Citrus, I've been hearing, I'm not alone with this, so I know I'm not echoing off my own thoughts and stuff like that, and just kind of being wrong about this, but Citrus has done some good things and bad things, definitely, with this story. It has really built up a relationship that's not very often seen in the anime, I want to say just in mainstream anime, because in many ways, Citrus is kind of mainstream, being on Crunchyroll, which is very rare for a type of show like this. And it's very cool that they actually present this type of show, because you know what? More people need to see stuff like this once in a while. It lets you broaden your horizons and stuff like that. And I really believe that when it comes to anime, you should watch different types of stuff, not just be, into just one genre. Shonen's awesome, Shonen's cool. But there's also drama, there's romance, there's mecha, there's, action, there's psychological and mystery, etc. And those are genres too, and I think people always stick with one specifically, but that's one thing I've always tried to do myself, is always try to watch different stuff. That's why I have so much shows watched, is I don't stick with one genre specifically. I love romance. Romance is probably one of my favorite genres, but I don't just watch solely romance. I watch, horror stuff, I watch action, I watch shonen, etc. So, Citrus was definitely good in that regard, and I was happy that we got presented with that type of show. I was also happy that the animation, the music, even the voice acting, was really solid. I liked all of that. I liked the ebb and flow sometimes of our story. It was good at times when it worked, and times it was also horrible, because there was quite often a feeling of going back and forth between that. I really killed my experience of the show. That was one of the biggest issues. I also felt things were rushed sometimes. Some characters would have so little limelight, and from talking to many of you that told me about the manga, there's a big difference apparently. I'm going to check out the manga myself. I might make a video about it, but we'll see what happens. But you know, they were telling me that there was a lot of parts that were skipped and a lot of sections that were not really fully explained or really went into depth with it. So it's like that's understandable why it feels like it's kind of rushed at times, and why, you know, like Matsuri, who I still think is probably one of the better girls of the show, despite how being crazy she is, you know, really felt like a quick thing in the story versus something I could have seen her being there for several episodes by itself. But I digress from that. You know, Citrus was okay. You know, it wasn't great, it wasn't horrible, it was okay. And, you know, the animation really was, like I said, very good. The music was very good. The acting and voice actors and all that were very solid. I loved them. They were good. You know, the story was different, which is cool. I like that. But, you know, it's the drama, the melodrama, and I think just the flow of the story and also how it was adapted feel kind of weak. And I think that's noticeable, even if you haven't read the manga for it. It's that Citrus has this kind of feeling of being rushed at times. So definitely that to consider. That's why if I had to rate Citrus between A through F, and we're talking about the whole thing, you know, besides just this week's episode, I would have to give it a C. I'll give it a C. I think that's a fine score for it. You know, because like I said, I didn't hate the show. If I really hated it, it would be hard for me to review episodes for it. And there were times where I was like, oh my god, please just end. And then there were times where I was like, you know, oh, this is so good, or this is pretty decent. So, you know, for that experience, I give it a decent grade for the most part. C's, hey, listen, you know, you guys might not think it, but C's is fine. It's beyond passing. You know, C minus is a little bit more questionable because that's like, oh, you barely passed, and then D is like, you know, you passed by a sliver of your teeth. But it's C for me is a okay show and something that you might like. You might like Citrus if you like this material, and even in general, if you want something that's basically Yuri but without a lot of the overly sexual concepts here and there, because there is sexual scenes in the show, but there aren't like full-blown nudity. There isn't stuff like that. If you need something like that, then Citrus is a good show to start off with if you want to kind of ease your way into this kind of genre. I still don't particularly care for the Yuri / yaoi scene. It's not that it's like against me, it's just more so I just don't watch that type of stuff, only because it's just not my cup of tea. Usually the stories are very melodramatic and I just don't like it too often. You know, I've seen like Super Lovers, for example, and that was a tremendous failure, I think, of a show. But, you know, I have seen both types of genres before, so it's like, you know, you at least I've tried them, you know. But anyways, what did you guys think about Citrus? What did you think about the final episode? I would love to hear from you always in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. I have multitude of other reviews. I have the last episode review for the Ancient Maggie Sprite, which I'm very excited for. That should be coming out probably within the hour. I'm going to actually first watch, and I'm watching currently as of doing this video, March Comes Like a Lion episode 20, which is the second to last episode. And then I will try my best to have, I think Darling in the Franxx also is out, so I'm going to have that out too later today. I'll talk to you guys later. God bless you all. Have a great day. Until our paths cross again in the next review. See you all later. Bye-bye, everyone.